So, hello, my name is Colleen O'Doherty, and I am the founder of or creator of the Coley Project, a project aimed at interviewing people and gathering stories about losing siblings. And you are?
I'm Delaney. Pronouns are she and they. Yeah, so here in Omaha, I'm known as Duchess Quinn. I'm a co-producer for a cosplay burlesque troupe based here in Omaha, 8-Bit Bombshells. We are also moving out to Des Moines as well, as one of our co-producers has moved out there. So we're really excited to expand. And then I also host my own annual show under Duchess Quinn called Politically Speaking, ... It's a drag. So we're hoping to bring that back here relatively soon, especially after the legislative session here in Nebraska just ended. So we're really excited to get that back up off the ground. And then I also produce shows with Ziggy Quinn as a member of the House of Quinn as well. So can kind of find me anywhere in Omaha.
Cool. But yeah, very cool. So yes, if you are watching this and are in Omaha, go see the shows. They're wonderful.
Yes.
Yes, so the first thing I've been asking people about is, if again to the degree and detail that you want to, if you want to talk about your sibling that you lost.
Yeah, so the sibling that I lost was my brother. We lost him when he was only a couple months old from SIDS. So I was only 2 at the time. I don't remember a ton, again, because he was just a baby, but I really remember the effect that it had on my parents, especially after losing the child and then going on to have my 2 younger siblings as well. So yeah.
Gotcha. And then yeah, so what when you say like the effect it had on your parents, are you comfortable talking about kind of what that looked like?
Yeah, so I didn't really personally remember a lot of the effects until it came when I was 5 and 6, a couple years later. When my brother passed, we had initially started a fundraiser for the SIDS Foundation, doing spaghetti feeds at our local church. And we continued doing those spaghetti feeds multiple years after. And I really remember around 5 and 6 when we did those spaghetti feeds, how emotional it was for my parents because it just brought everything back up. And seeing them with my 2 sisters, I remembered my mom announcing that my youngest sister, she was expecting my youngest sister, and I do remember that. I don't remember my middle sister, unfortunately, but the relief that she had, and I think that this how scared she was really showed. But she always kept a really brave face on for me. She never really wanted me to realize that she was as scared as she was. And just having that determination to have, because if it was me, if I had lost my child, I don't think I could have more after that, let alone 2. So seeing that determination of her wanting her family really drives my determination now.
Yeah, no, yeah. I think I've thought similarly. I was in a grief group once where this woman had lost a baby, and yeah, I mean, I don't have kids, but if I did, yeah, I feel the same. I wouldn't know how. So yeah, that's incredible that she was able to, just kind of keep moving forward.
Hmm.
Um, and then I guess are there like resources or anything like that that you wish had been around if for you or for your parents or anything like that?
Yes, so my parents did go to support groups. So we did the SIDS Foundation fundraisers, and the SIDS Foundation did provide um a lot of groups that you can work with. Lasting Hope was a really great facility that we use. There's also a facility here in Omaha, and I'm blanking on the name. It's off 72nd and Blondo. They are a grief support facility, so they have resources there for every type of grief, whether it's divorce, death, or things like that, that we still work with and provide materials for them if they need it and things like that. off 72nd and Blondo in Omaha. That is a really great facility. And if I can get that name, I will definitely get it to you.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I think it's cool that I knew about the Lasting Hope because it used to be called like Teddy Bear Hollow and a couple other things.
Yes, Teddy Bear Hollow.
Yeah, so that's really cool. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about like is there anything you would say to someone that's lost a sibling, particularly if they lost them like young like you did?
Yeah, so it's really normal for sibling grief, especially as young, if you're young, for it to hit you later in life. I didn't fully feel my brother's death until I was probably in about high school. Um, that's when I really realized, like, I'm growing up, I'm going through this life. There should have been another life here with me, only 2 years younger than me. That should be right behind me, and there's not. And it's okay that it takes time for your mind and your body and your soul to not process that until you're older. And don't internalize it. I internalized it for many years. There was a point in my life where I had blamed myself for my brother's death. Um, that wasn't the case whatsoever. I had was trying to help my mom, I guess, a couple of days before my brother passed, and I tried to get him out of his crib, but I was 2, so I ended up dropping him. And it wasn't until later, until I was in like my teens, that that memory, I guess, unsurfaced itself in my head, and I internalized that well into my high school years, and it actually was a factor in a hospitalization that I had for suicidal ideation. So really don't internalize that. Reach out for help, even if it's not through your parents, because that was a lot of my thing of internalizing it. Is my parents have already gone through this loss. They've already gone through some of the grieving process, and I don't want to burden them with it, because after all, it was their child. It was just my sibling, but siblings matter. My 2 youngest sisters are my best friends, even though they drive me up the wall. My youngest one has the same exact attitude as me, and she throws it back at me, and I'm not prepared for it. But definitely don't internalize it and reach out for help, even if it's not within your family.
No,
Yeah.
it's great advice. I mean, any other kind of like thoughts you want to share or anything like that?
I think realizing grieving is a process, and it's easier to do when you have people that you love and trust around, and don't push away the people that you love who may be going through the same things. So my family recently, within the last 2 years, have had some deaths in the family, and accidents happen. And it's really recently that we've been leaning on each other through the grieving times. So even if it's not your direct family, if you have friends, make sure you're leaning on other people. I just really want to emphasize, don't internalize it.
No, I think that's really good advice because I think that seems to be a recurring thing, particularly with sibling grief. It seems to come up with people is that like either blaming oneself or like shoving feelings away because the parental grief, very understandably gets a lot more of the focus. Like, so yeah, no, I think that's really important to emphasize. Lovely, lovely thoughts, lovely interview. Anything else before I stop record?
I don't think so.